Welcome back to New Book Tuesday on CPL Radio, the show that looks at books. We look at the books, and you hear about us looking at the books. I'm Jeff Messerman, Adult Services Librarian for the Cedarburg Public Library, and I have two more of me here as well.
Casey St. Clair, Head of Youth Services in the Children's Department.
And Heidi Griffin, Youth Services Associate.
All right, you got us. You know who we are. Let's talk about books. And we are going to start today, I believe, with, we're going to talk about something big. Most people are used to a summer reading program, but in the last couple of years, we've branched out and added another season, the winter reading program. Casey, can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up? It started yesterday, I guess. So.
It started yesterday, Monday, December 4th, and it's a program for all ages. And in the years past, we've done a winter theme with snowflakes, snowmen, challenges to, read 30 minutes while you're having a cup of hot cocoa.
Right.
And this year we decided to change things up, and we created the theme Grab a Book and Go Places.
Absolutely.
So we're encouraging readers to read books that either take place in a different country or part of the United States, or written by international authors. And you can go upstairs to the Adult Services desk and I think drop off a short review of a book.
We're still discussing that. You can always do that, but we're not exactly making that a requirement. We don't want to put people off,
Sure. So you write down the name of a book that you've read, and you'll be entered in to win grand prizes.
Yes, absolutely. Huge stuff.
And then downstairs, we're so excited. We've made little passports for the kids.
Neat.
To take home, and there's different activities in them, including reading, but also find the place you were born on an atlas or a map.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And the kids will receive Milwaukee Admirals tickets upon completion, and tickets to earn grand prizes too. So grab a book and go places.
All right. That's the way to go. And just so you know, you still can drink hot cocoa while you read.
Yes.
That's not, I'm sorry that we were disqualified.
Yes. Snow is inevitable, but we wanted to celebrate warmer places too.
Yes, very important. Very good. Excellent. Well, Casey, since you're already talking, let's why don't we jump into the book that you have for us this week?
Sure. I read a nonfiction young adult book that hit our shelves this summer, and I finally got a chance to dive in. It is called America Redux: Visual Stories from Our Dynamic History by Ariel Aberg-Reiger. I hope I said that correctly. It's a really cool book, and there's lots of imagery inside.
Nice.
And
I can tell from here it's pretty gorgeously put together. I like it already.
It's a lot of collage artwork with pictures that many people will recognize from American history, as well as some other artistic photos too.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the book jacket because it does a really good job of summarizing what the book is about.
Absolutely.
America Redux explores the themes that create our shared sense of the American identity and interrogates the myths we've been telling ourselves for centuries. With iconic American catchphrases as chapter titles, these 21 visual stories illuminate the astonishing, unexpected, sometimes darker sides of history that reverberate in our society to this very day. So
That sounds great. That sounds really interesting. Yeah.
It is in the historical U.S. history section of the Dewey Decimal System. And the author has very smartly not used a traditional linear timeline to talk about American history. Instead, she groups things that have happened throughout history into different themes. So, for example, there's a picture on page 43 of a suffragette-looking woman casting her vote in a ballot box, and then juxtaposed next to that is an African-American woman casting her vote in a ballot box. And the theme was that people have gained rights in America, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Once again, this frustrates me as an adult librarian because sometimes some of the most groundbreaking stuff and the most exciting things happening in the world of literature is going on in your department.
It really is.
I mean, really is. It's because it's like adults are kind of snapped into their routines, and like it's like some of the books are just like like that, just groundbreaking and revolutionary, and some of it's great. I mean, wow, that's cool. I would think there would be ample adults that'd be interested in leafing through this as well.
Absolutely, it's not your cut and dry history book for sure, but it does stick to the facts. Yeah, I think unfortunately people might take a look at this and say, "Oh, this is a woke book," when in fact the author is truly just mashing up facts in a way that is thought-provoking.
Yeah. And just so you know, that's the first time we've used the W word here on the show.
W word. The young adult librarian dropped the woke word.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
Stop the presses.
It has well-known and lesser-known events in here. It would be great for anyone who loves American history, anyone who enjoys reading Howard Zinn, who takes a different spin on American history. And I really encourage students who are studying American U.S. history in like middle school or high school or college to take a look at it too. Wow.
Is it getting accolades out there besides here in this room? I mean, is it one of those?
I don't know.
Give it a look. I'm just curious if it's, I would think schools would be, schools that are open to ideas. I have to be careful here. Would that be a great, assigned reading or do a book report on for you think like middle, like 6th grade ish would be the
I would
target?
say a little bit higher, not because of the content, but just more of the
layout and
the aptitude to kind of digest this book. I mean, it opens with a James Baldwin quote. Oh, sure. So I think a 6th graders might, I don't know, maybe they're really...
I mean, we got some sharp cookies in this town.
Yeah, I bet so.
Don't sell Cedarburg short.
And may I end with the James Baldwin quote?
I think you should.
Okay.
Take us to break.
Oh, yeah. American history is longer, larger, more various, more beautiful, and more terrible than anything anyone has ever said about it.
And there we go.
Time for a break.
That's all right. Yes, we will be back. Here's a little inspirational music for you, and we'll be back in just a bit. And we're back on New Book Tuesday. And it's nice that we can put this show out on Tuesday for you. So hopefully, if we cataloged with all due dispatch, they are available on the sales floor, as they say. If not, we'll get there. Got to get those stickers on there. Got to get those RFID tags. Takes a little bit. So anyway, here's Heidi with her book of the week.
All right. Well, I have a great book this week, and I think all ages can enjoy this book. I chose The Labors of Hercules Beale by Gary D. Schmidt. Gary Schmidt is a well-known author in the children's section. He's a Newbery Honor, and people may know him from the Wednesday Wars. So this book here was written in May of 2023, or released, sorry. And it's about good old Hercules Beale. He is a 7th grader who lives in Cape Cod with his older brother, Achilles. They live on their family farm, which is also a running nursery that their great-great-grandfather and great-great-uncle started. So we start off, and it has been less than a year since his parents were killed in an accident. So this has forced his brother, who was a writer for Nat Geo, to come back and take care of his brother. Yeah. And they also have to keep the farm going. So because they have to keep the farm going, Achilles decides that it's best for Hercules to switch schools. Hercules has been very comfortable in his old school with all of his friends. Also, he had a special route he would take to school. And some special things would happen. He would talk to his parents every morning. So he's kind of distraught when his brother decides that he will be switching schools and joining the Cape Cod Academy for Environmental Sciences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's a little upset.
Sounds like a charter school to me.
So his first day of school, he's surprised because he ends up making friends. But we meet a really interesting character. We meet retired Marine Lieutenant Colonel Hupfer, and he is Hercules' homeroom teacher and humanities teacher. And I'm sure you can guess how this classroom is run.
I feel like the actor Chris Cooper could play this role really well. Or Gary Sinise. Maybe Gary Sinise.
Yes. So, of course, he seems rough and, very military. But he knows his students are capable of great things. So he assigns each student a unique year-long project that ties into mythology. And there's the mythology tied to the story right there. So some of these seem completely outrageous. So he is assigning each project that kind of partners the gifts of each kid so that, he knows that they can do it. So one of them being drawing maps from all the myths. Oh, so cool. That's like over 100 maps. Another one was to interview every set of twins in Cape Cod. And
I have a few of them. I have some twins.
Oh, yeah. And then Hercules gets his assignment. And his assignment is to, and this is a quote, make, do, perform, execute, accomplish each of the 12 labors of Hercules. So if you're familiar with mythology, Hercules had to do all of these labors. And some of them are very extreme. And then after completing these, he had to submit a 150 word reflection, which is something that Hercules struggles with through the story. And also he's struggling with how he can complete these labors in modern times, because clearly we are not mythological.
I don't recall. I can't name all 12, but I'm sure some of them involve some pretty outrageous stuff.
Well, I believe one of them is Hercules has to go to hell.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
So, this could be pretty grueling for a 7th grader
Absolutely.
to, look forward to.
Can I get a cab to the Bronx? No offense to our New York listeners, of course. Yeah. Sure, it's much better now.
But throughout the story, Colonel Hupfer just pushes Hercules to do better and kind of takes him under his wing because he knows he's capable and he knows he's grieving and he knows that he needs time to heal.
Yeah.
And so the character development in this story is amazing because each character that comes into play, you learn more and more about them. And it's him and his brother's relationship grows.
Yeah.
Brother gets a girlfriend. Hercules thinks she's a vampire. There's a one-eyed cat.
She is. No. A one-eyed cat.
This book is for you, Jeff.
Made for me.
Yes.
For our listeners at home, I have 2 one-eyed black cats. Yes. And I dated a vampire once. So anyway, so it all works out very well. Talk about that in a future show. Well, this sounds great. This really sounds like it tackles some heavy stuff, but not but maybe with a lighter touch.
It's a very heartwarming story.
Yeah.
It's, once again, I like to choose the books that will take your emotions on a roller coaster. And but all in all, it is very, very, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's,
absolutely.
And I think we can all see a bit of ourselves in Hercules and his struggles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a great book.
And for Casey, I see some dogs on the cover. Is there
a dog.
Some pups? Okay, good.
Yes,
good. I want to make
there's
sure.
animals.
Is that how the cat got one eye? Is the dog?
No, but there is a very, very interesting story about the cat in the book. So if you want to know about that, you should read it.
Get my dust off my library card. Come down and see you soon. Fantastic. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Heidi. That is awesome. You've been bringing it. You really you should get a kickback from the publishers the last couple because you really knocked it out there. So. Well, now that we've dealt with some, very sort of, I would say, borderline highbrow material, let me knock things down a few pegs.
I'm really excited for this.
Yes.
So there's a great publishing imprint called Hard Case Crime. They've been around for about 20 years, and the first 10 years or so, they were republishing old hard-boiled thrillers and like noir classics. So it's a lot of PI stories, a lot of cocktails, a lot of dames hanging off the arm, a little two-fisted, everyone's smoking, someone's double-crossing or triple-crossing somebody else. It's a fun imprint, actually. The covers, they were making their own, and everyone, when I walked in here, the room today, commented on the pretty stark cover that we have here today. Hard Case Crime. Actually, some of their covers, I want to buy more of them for our library, but I'm like, I can't really have that facing out.
Yeah, just the spines are safe.
Yes, the spines are extraordinarily safe. So in the last 10 years or so, though, so that was their first 10 years, was just republishing Donald Westlake and Ed McBain and a lot of great hard-boiled writers of the 50s and 60s, even like the 40s and 30s. And they were great. They were fun to read. Not great. Great is the wrong word. They were highly readable garbage. And I loved every minute of it. So in the last 10 years, though, they've been publishing some original, like new books. And Stephen King has already published twice with Hard Case Crime three times, I think. One was called The Colorado Kid, and one was called Joyland. And they were both actually great books because it was like Stephen King, who, as those who are fans of him know, he has diarrhea of the typewriter. And for this, it was like, no, he has to be lean and mean. Mm-hmm. And so having that kind of constriction on was really good for him, I think. It was like some of the best books he's written. So the one I have today feels like a wholly original. I have never seen or read anything like this. It has elements of a million other crime stories, but this is literally straight up drive-in 1970s classics, Smokey and the Bandit, the Cannonball Run. This is Low Down Road by Scott Von Doviak, and only his second book, I think. Actually, Stephen King blurbed him on the cover and called it a great effing story. That's right on the cover. So, there you go. And the King is right. I'm heading into like the midpoint, and it is a Texas story set in the mid 70s. No, actually 73, I think. CB radios are becoming a thing and becoming popular. It's honky tonks and crooked sheriffs. These two cousins. What are their names? What are the names actually? Chuck and the other guy.
Nice.
Yes. Chuck and Dwayne. I don't know. It's
like say on the back.
Yeah, I would. I'm struggling here. No, it doesn't. Chuck and his brother. Chuck's the more, why I don't remember Chuck? 'Cause he's the more memorable one. At the beginning of the story, he's been out of jail for a mere 6 weeks, and already he has probably bent or broken the law like every day, like daily. He just cannot live within the confines of the law. And unfortunately, he goes honky tonkin', as they will do in Texas, I hear, and tries to pick up a lovely lady who unfortunately is the local deputy's wife. And the local deputy has basically said that if anyone comes anywhere near my wife, I will murder them on the spot. You'll be like a pair of smoking boots is all that'll be left if I find you with my wife. Boom. That's right. So Chuck is like, cool, let's go. And of course, the other thing about this book is it does not stop moving. Every car in here is right. The slowest I've seen any car go in this book is probably 92. It's Dodge. It's muscle cars. It's Dodge Chargers and Challengers and everything's souped up.
Can you describe the cover briefly?
Yes.
I
Please.
certainly can. So we have some characters on the cover. We have the two brothers, I believe, Chuck and the other guy.
Cigarette in mouth.
Cigarette in mouth.
It's sort of that classic painted, like oil painting.
Yes. He's got the porn star mustache,
Yes.
the mutton chops. There's a gentleman on the cover. I know who that guy is. He actually, they're going to steal. The scheme is they're going to steal lots of marijuana from essentially a junkyard. To get there, though, they have to go through somebody who runs a snake farm, because I guess they have snake farms in Texas. I did not know that. My question, of course, is, why are you farming snakes? and this is all kinds of snakes.
Is it for cowboy boots?
Sure. Okay, I can take it. Yeah, certainly.
Belts.
But also on the cover is the dirty, crooked sheriff and a woman in Daisy Dukes and a tied-off tank top. So
Is that the wife?
I'm not sure. I think they're about to meet her on the road, because the wife. Well, I don't want to give away too much. Although it happens in the first chapter, the wife is gunned down. Like,
Jesus, Jeff.
Just boom. That's okay. She was going to kill him. It's a series of very bad decisions.
This is wild.
It is so wild. I needed this now. It's getting cold out, and this is a hot, sweaty, sticky book. It's just like
That's also going 90 miles an hour.
It's also going 90 miles an hour. Holy cow! I was 3 when this story would have taken place, and thankfully, and I was not in Texas. I was in Wisconsin, because Texas, just from what I've heard, I've never been in that state. I don't know if anybody in this room has.
I have, but not
Texas.
Not that Texas.
Not that Texas.
Let's just say eventually they wind up taking off in a stolen taco truck, and they're also driving that at about 110 miles an hour. So like this refried beans, right? Refried beans flying everywhere. It's actually the one thing I didn't mention is it also plays out. It feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie. If you've seen any Quentin, it feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yes.
With a Dash of the Dukes of Hazzard and Smokey and the Bandit. Nobody is, as far as I can tell, I don't think anybody's ever written a book like this. I mean, William Faulkner, I guess, was dealing with the South, but I mean, but there were no taco trucks with William Faulkner's book.
Yeah, I'm even trying to think of like the Western canon of like the, what is it? Oh my God. John Wayne.
Sure. No. Yeah.
That wouldn't even come close to this craziness.
This is just wild. And it is written, I mean, it's very funny, but it's not intentionally funny. Like, he's not pushing jokes. It's just the situations are side-splitting. This Scott Von Doviak, who I've visited his website, and I'm like, what more do you have? He has I think he's created a genre. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's exciting for me. That's just like, wow, cool. Give me 20 more of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Where do patrons go to find this book, like on our shelves?
Currently, it is on the new arrivals wall. And when I'm finished with it in a few days, it will be back on the new arrivals wall. When it's all done, it'll just be wound up in general fiction. I mean, we don't really have a hillbilly section here per se. So.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was going in the mystery or the who knows?
It could, I guess. Yeah, I'd have to work on that. I'm not sure. That was on the fence with that one. Do I put this in mystery? A lot of the hard case crime books do wind up in mystery, but this one just feels like it's a thriller, and it's a comedy. It's a comedy thriller. It's and I guess Elmore Leonard. I mean, he was who wrote like Get Shorty and all that kind of stuff. So, wow, I'm floored. Putting the pedal to the metal on this book. Come check it out. We're the only library in the system, the Monarch system, that has it. I was the only one brave enough to buy it. Yeah. Yes. So come on down and let's get some holds on this thing, because I love it. It's just great fun. So
once you see the cover, you're going to want to read it.
I thought, and I always try to face it out for that reason when I get downstairs, but I have a feeling some people are like, oh, let's just turn that the other way.
Bring it on.
I know. Come on. We're everything. All things to all people. We are a library. So I'm going to play some twangy music here. Maybe a little dueling banjos or something. I don't know. Bye-bye. Remember, the adventure doesn't end here. Head over to monarchcat.org to request or place holds on any of the titles you heard today. Whether it's a thrilling mystery, a heartwarming romance, or a mind-bending sci-fi, there's a story waiting for you. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback keeps us going and helps fellow book lovers discover their next favorite read.
A special thank you to the Friends of the Cedarburg Public Library for their unwavering support in making this podcast possible. Your dedication to fostering a love of reading in our community is truly commendable. Stay tuned for more literary discoveries next Tuesday. Until then, happy reading, and may your bookshelves and TBRs be ever expanding.